All right. Welcome, Paperweight Degrees, episode 6, the special end of the world edition. As
Extra
always,
special. We say that every
extra
week. It's
special.
just getting worse.
Yeah, well, let me tell you what, this is going to be the worst.
Think? You don't think it's going to get any worse?
Well, I think I said that last week, maybe. But, here we are.
I think nobody knows. But basketball's back. You watch basketball,
Well,
yeah?
hold on.
Are
We
you
got to tell
excited
the
about
people. Okay. Yeah, Paperweight Degrees, we're both two useless college students that graduated and we don't do anything. I'm Coulter, he's Tyler.
that? We do a podcast.
Okay. Yeah, yes, we do podcasts. Okay, now that the intro's out of the way.
Yeah, you've been watching basketball?
No, wait, like professional?
Yeah, I heard it's back. Aren't you into
What?
basketball?
Yeah, but I haven't seen any basketball games.
Yeah, basketball's back.
crazy?
I think someone made a comment about like the Knicks losing or something. Yeah, they're back, isn't it?
NBA. Man, I really should have looked this up before. Approved plan to continue with season with 22 teams. I don't know if there's a game played, but it looks like they might be restarting. Oh, they tentatively have a restart date of July 31st.
Oh, I don't know where that guy got the comment about the Knicks losing then.
Yeah, I don't know who you're getting your news from.
Listen, dude, Twitter doesn't lie.
Slippery Joe. Third-hand news. You ever see that skit on SNL?
Which skit? I've seen
There was
plenty of skits.
it was like a news guy. He's like a second-hand news, so all of his news is fucked up.
No, that's hilarious. though.
It's just like relevant events, but there's always like some stupid twist on it.
No,
hilarious.
that's pretty funny though. I haven't
You
seen
can
it.
find it.
Maybe I've seen it. I don't know. I'll have to look it up.
So let's talk about the end of the world.
Which part?
We yeah, I know, right? We live near LA. And we know there's riots going on. There's even riots in our hometown,
Yeah.
but all across America and even like across the world.
Yeah, I think across the world it's a little bit more peaceful. I don't think protesters are being tear gassed in other countries.
unless you're in Hong Kong.
I don't think the other world leaders are gassing their own people for a photo op, but yeah, there are
Not yet.
protests in other places.
Did
Did you see
yeah, so
did you see
it's good enough.
Canada's comment on it?
they have a comment on it? No, I didn't.
Yeah, Justin Trudeau had a comment on it. It was
My boy.
someone asked him how he felt about if he could comment on the United States and what's going on, and if not, what message was it? And he paused for like 20 seconds and didn't say anything, and then he just said that it's bad here, basically.
That's
and that
bad.
systematic racism. It was a good. I mean, I'm dumbing it down a lot, but
Okay.
he was in support of the protesters, and he said it's that racism exists and it's even a problem in Canada, and that his heart is with the the U.S. protesters and the people over Donald Trump's handling of the situation.
Did it sound eloquent? Because if you
Yeah,
took 20
no,
seconds.
it was really good. No, he took 20
Okay.
seconons of silence. Like
I
he
thought you
couldn't
meant-
even. He was so. I'll find the clip now, I guess, because I don't think I did it enough justice. I
Did
gotta
he
find it though.
take 20 seconds to think about his response, or just like a
You'll,
moment of
let
silence?
me show the video.
All right.
Let me. Is this the full one? Yeah, it's like 2 minutes long, but let me send it to you here. Brother.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Media can't be played.
Excuse me.
Shit. Hold on.
Man, we're slacking this week.
man.
We're slacking.
That's
This
okay.
tweet
It's
was
not
by
that hard.
ABC News, but it's Justin Trudeau's comment. He got. We'll play the clip, and you guys will see. I didn't do it
Yeah,
enough
if you can find
justice.
it.
Well, you got it pulled up?
No, but I can watch it on stream.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna play it.
You've been reluctant to comment on the words and actions of the U.S. president, but we do have Donald Trump now calling for military action against protesters. We saw protesters tear gas yesterday to make way for a presidential photo op. I'd like to ask you what you think about that, and if you don't want to comment, what message do you think you're sending?
I like the lip ASMR with this.
We all watch horror and consternation what's going on in the United States. It is a time to pull people together, but it is a time to listen. It is a time to learn what injustices continue despite progress over years and decades. But it is a time for us as Canadians to recognize that we too have our challenges, that Black Canadians and racialized Canadians face discrimination as a lived reality every single day. There is systemic discrimination in Canada, which means our systems treat Canadians of color, Canadians who are racialized, differently than they do others. It is something that many of us don't see, but it is something that is a lived reality for racialized Canadians. We need to see that, not just as a government and take action, but we need to see that as Canadians. We need to be allies in the fight against discrimination. We need to listen, we need to learn, and we need to work hard to figure out how we can be part of the solution on fixing things. This government has done a number of things over the past years, but there is lots more to do, and we will continue to do that because we see you, we see the discrimination that racialized Canadians live every single day.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
so
right.
that's Trudeau's response, which was pretty nice.
All right, a couple
Eloquent.
comments.
It's surprising to see such eloquent words coming from a country's leader. I'm not used to that.
Yeah, right? Isn't
It's
that
been
kind
a
of
few
shocking?
years, yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a little
yeah,
while.
a couple things. One, my man looks like he hasn't had a haircut in a while.
That's what I
think-
thought, man. That beard's
think
insane.
COVID might
beard's
be
wild.
doing him a number.
Yeah, it's not like
second-
he's harrying up to keep warm. It's summertime over there.
Yeah.
Summertime over here. Summertime everywhere.
Summertime. Well,
That's not
On
everywhere, but it's summertime.
northern
there.
side,
It's heating up. He doesn't need
It's
the beard
close
to
enough.
stay warm.
Also, he reminds me of that kind of reminded me of Obama a little bit, where he kind of just like took his time to think of a response, and slowly, like I don't know, it seemed sincere, and it seemed not like premeditated and thought out and scripted or anything, but like he was carefully choosing his words.
Yeah, it's nice to see
I don't
a country's leader speaking with eloquence like that.
It's good. It's great. Could we, since I feel like this is going to be a big topic for this week's episode, so I want to jump like back and forth between different parts of it.
Yeah.
But let's start with this tweet that I found that LeBron James put out.
Yeah.
I think I have it in the notes, but you can find it.
Yep.
It essentially, there's a video to watch, and we can watch it together. But it's like one of the classic arguments of you don't deserve an opinion in politics because you do blank for a living. Like you're this or you're that, and so no one wants to hear from you.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, just the
what-
title of this video alone says "Jocks on Politics." How stupid is that?
I'm not sure where you see that, but all right.
The video.
The
Fox
News
News
yes,
headline
yeah.
for this interview or
Yeah.
talk is "Jocks on Politics." How degrading is that? That's stupid.
Yeah, Laura Ingraham. Okay, she's
Laura
pretty much
Ingraham is
the
a separate
devil.
topic. She's out of her mind.
She's big dumb. Like she's got stupid takes. But let's watch the video together, and then
Yeah,
we can
we'll
debate
do
after
that.
that. So, let's play on. I'll count down to 3. All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
It's always unwise to seek political advice from someone who gets paid $100 million a year to bounce a ball. Oh, and LeBron and Kevin,
Jesus
they're
Christ,
great
lady.
players, but no one voted for you. Millions elected Trump to be their coach. So keep the political commentary to yourself, or as someone once said, shut up and dribble.
Well,
Jesus.
he's allowed
Jesus
to have
Christ,
his
man.
view about what kneeling and the flag means to him. I mean, he's a person. He has some worth, I would imagine. I mean, this is beyond football, though. This is totalitarian conduct. This is Stalinist. And by the way, on the streets of New Orleans, we're looking at live pictures. They're shouting "F Drew Brees."
Wow.
That's what this moment has done to the beautiful team spirit of the New Orleans Saints.
He's a great Christian man.
It's always unwise.
He's a great Christian man.
So it's
They're
okay.
really pulling that card.
It's okay because he is a good Christian man to listen to him and not talk badly about him. But because LeBron James isn't on the same side, he just needs to dribble his basketballs and stay out of it, right? But Drew Brees, he's a good Christian man, so he's able to comment, and they agree with it.
Clearly.
But
House of Worship every goddamn
LeBron
Sunday.
James, I mean, ironically, he's of a different color, and he's not allowed to talk up. Just dribble your ball, LeBron. But Drew Brees, you're talking through God.
You
not because you're white or anything, but
You were
because
the-
you're a Christian
yeah.
man, right?
You are the words of God. Just 'cause
Laura
I
Ingraham, I can't even fathom how anyone can listen to that garbage.
Like, it's so stupid. Like the contrast between these two. It is so clearly racist.
How
But
is she gonna say that's totalitarianism and Stalinistic? Are you kidding me?
I'm not even sure what she was talking about for the totalitarian. What did Drew Brees say something, or is she talking about?
Does she know how the U.S. revolutionized? Does she think that it just
Yeah.
a bunch of leaders just came together and said, you know what, this is ours now, and then it was settled? No.
So I'm guessing that Drew Brees said, like the government's totalitarian and.
Drew Brees, he had a video that was circulating around media that said that he can never stand behind it was something along the lines of he could never get behind someone who disrespected the flag in regards to kneeling during the national anthem. And so he basically said he can't ever get behind someone who disrespects the flag.
Okay. That's a big shut.
It's 2020. And it still blows my mind that people think that people are kneeling to disrespect the flag. You are listening to what you want to hear on Fox News if you still believe that. You're out of your mind.
Like the approval rates for the San Francisco's quarterback. What's his name again?
Drew Brees?
No. The 49ers quarterback, the black quarterback that takes a knee every time.
Colin Kaepernick.
Yes, Kaepernick. His approval ratings have like skyrocketed from back in like 2016 or 17, whenever it was. He was down at like low 40s, and now it's up at like almost 70. It's like high 60s.
Everyone owes Colin Kaepernick a big fucking apology.
Kaepernick. Yes. Yeah, if you're still on kneeling, disrespects the flag, and he needs to stop being unpatriotic, you need to shut the fuck up. That's what you need to do.
I saw a lot of people in the comments for the video that was circulating of Drew Brees from military people. And I know, okay, here's another issue. People who say that, they complain that Twitter is garbage for information, that might be true. But the reason I like to go on Twitter is because I like to hear directly from the people, and I get to hear a lot of different viewpoints from a lot of different kinds of people. Sure, some people might be faking it or doing whatever, but the reason I use Twitter is because you get to see directly what people are saying. There's no filter. When you go to the news is going to show comments and stuff that will benefit whatever agenda they're pushing, regardless if it's left or right. But if you go directly on Twitter and you find those videos, you're going to find people in the comments section from all different walks of life that are giving their opinion. And if you want the raw opinions of people, that's the best way to do it. First of all, that's what I want to say. Second of all, there was a lot of people in the comments that were, they claimed that they were military, which people can argue that it was all fake, but there were some military people in there that were saying that they were fucking tired of being told that they're offended for that when they're not offended. I've seen a lot of people coming out that have said, this is really stupid to keep saying that we're offended by this. We're not offended by this. That they're not kneeling to disrespect us or the flag. They're kneeling.
Yeah, they've said it a million fucking times.
I don't know what more people need from them. Like, why stop being offended for other people?
Yeah.
I have yet to meet a veteran or someone in the service who's came out publicly and said that this is not okay. This is disrespectful to me. Have you? I'm sure there are, but I haven't heard of them. I haven't seen them.
No.
It's wild. Boggles my mind that for people labeling liberals as, digesting fake news and being snowflakes. People on the right are,
Just
that's
as
all I'll
dumb.
say about that. They
But
get
I
just as much false information, and they
yeah,
get
I
so
just wanted to go back to the original argument of you're an NBA player, or you do something that isn't political for a living as a job, so therefore you can't have an opinion.
yeah.
Can we just say that's fucking stupid? Because everyone, if you're a citizen, you get a vote. I don't
Yep.
care if you worked on Obama's campaign in 2008 and you single-handedly
You can vote. You can't have
You
a
know,
political opinion though.
committed.
That's what she means.
Yeah,
Right.
No,
So
yeah.
we can't have an opinion. We can vote, but
you can't have an opinion.
I make
apparently.
websites for a living, so I'm not really allowed to have an opinion on stuff.
It's so stupid. Everyone can have an opinion. Everyone. I don't
I
care
mean,
who the fuck you are. If you
Yeah, I don't even
even
know
if
what to
you're
say about
not
that.
even if you're not living in this country, like if you are a UK citizen, it's a bit different when it comes to like foreigners, but I feel like you should still be able to voice your opinion,
Yeah.
especially on something that's universal like Black Lives Matter. Like this is not like an American political decision. Like this is just like racism, and racism is everywhere.
Yep.
So yeah, it's so stupid.
I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, you've got to be racist and out of your mind to actually believe that, and then right after that go and say that, oh, but Drew Brees said this and he's a good Christian man, so it's totally cool that he has a I mean, what's the difference between LeBron James and Drew Brees? Shouldn't she have kept that same energy and said just throw your
Yeah,
football around?
just throw your
right?
football. Yeah,
Just throw your football around, dude. That's all you do. You can't. I don't know what you're doing trying to voice your opinion. You just throw footballs for a living. I mean, you're not allowed to fucking say that.
yeah. Laura Ingraham, fight us.
Yeah, fuck you,
Come on.
Laura Ingraham.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck you.
I'm on the record. Here's my statement of Laura Ingraham. Fuck you.
Word.
Yeah.
I mean,
Alright, well.
the bigger problem with that is the people who buy into that and they still believe that is. It just boggles my
Yeah,
mind.
there's always gonna be people that like Fox News is pretty much state media at this point. There's
The
always gonna
whole
be a
Colin
following.
Kaepernick thing has always boggled my mind, though. It's just so fucking stupid. People are believing what they want to hear. That's the
Yeah.
right wingers are believing what they want to hear, which is super fucking ironic. Super ironic.
Yeah. So let's shift to
No more on Laura Ingraham. She doesn't deserve
let's
this much
talk about
attention.
riots. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we're done trashing her. Let's move on to riots, because it seems to be a more popular topic than police injustice itself. Like police injustice and racism in America has come second to people rioting and looting stores. So let's fucking talk about it. Do you have a hot take on this?
I think what's wild to me is I'm sure that a lot of the violent protesters and the people who are looting are people that were just there to protest originally, but there's also a lot of information that's came out, and there's also been a lot of misinformation about Antifa being the ones to start all this, which department was it that came out and said there was no intelligence that suggests that Antifa is the one behind the violence, which is hilarious.
I saw something like
Antifa,
that, yeah.
it's just, even Donald Trump, it's so easy to place the blame on them, but Antifa's not Antifa means anti-fascist. I guess I'm
Yeah.
Antifa. Are you Antifa? I'm anti-fascist. Are you?
I am so anti-fascist. It's ridiculous.
It's really easy to place the blame on people when it fits your agenda, like Donald Trump's doing. But I mean, I'm fully in support of all protesting. I don't think that looting is the right way, but I also don't think that a majority of protesters are out to loot stores and destroy communities. I really don't. And I think there's a lot of information that suggests that it's not the left-wing protesters that are starting this stuff. There was something that came out about a right-wing group that came out, and they were basically acting as if they were an Antifa group. They had an Antifa Twitter page, and they were trying to organize violence, basically. And they weren't Antifa; they were right-wingers. So I think a lot of the information going around about the looting and all that is very touchy, because it's not all what it appears to be.
Yeah, it's yeah. Well, okay.
And
Here's
to try to shut down all protests because of that is you're out of your mind. That's a right that we have, that we should have to be
yeah.
able to
What? Yeah.
protest.
Speaking of protests, how popular were the Hong Kong protests in America's eyes? Wasn't everyone like Team Hong Kong and saying, "Whoa, yeah, go Hong Kong, you fucking get him, you show
I
China his
mean,
spots."
yeah,
And Hong Kong was going to war. Like they were throwing shit there. Everyone was wearing gas masks.
yeah,
They were throwing shit. There was explosions.
Yep.
You know, everything blowing the fuck up in their face.
yeah.
They're
That
like,
was
yeah,
wild.
you fucking kicked their ass. And now, all of a sudden, you get some people that are just standing and screaming, and all of a sudden it's unlawful, and they need to get the fuck beaten out of them by the
Yep.
police with their big old baton
Do
bats.
you remember? Because I remember when the protesters that
Fucking
were
dude,
right
everyone remembers.
wingers,
Fucking
they were
Pepperidge Farms members.
They were protesting because they couldn't get a haircut, and they couldn't go to the gym because of the COVID virus. Do you remember? And they
Yeah.
were saying it's not.
I remember that shit.
Yeah, because I fucking remember. Keep that same energy right now, you fucking bitches. Where's that energy right now, huh? Nowhere.
It's like in Huntington Beach. So Huntington Beach is like pretty far, right?
Yeah.
They were like the epicenter for the beach protests in California. For people like closing down the beaches, they're going, yeah, like this is fascism. The government can't shut us down. You know, I have a right to go to my house and walk on the beach and all this bullshit. And everyone's like, cool, you're gonna get COVID. You have the right to protest, but you know you're probably gonna die.
Yep.
Then everyone was fine with it. No police were beating the fuck out of them. And then,
Nope, no
like
tear
a month
gas.
later, there's people protesting in Huntington Beach again for Black Lives Matter, and the whole fucking world fucking collapses.
Yep.
Just because it's a different issue. So it's not.
It's hilarious how
it's
hypocritical
crazy how
those kind of
thin
people are.
the racism.
How do you feel about the black square that happened, the Blackout Tuesday? How do you feel about
Blackout
that?
Tuesday. So I didn't partake in Blackout Tuesday. I remember waking up on Tuesday morning. Okay, Tuesday morning meaning like Tuesday afternoon probably. And I'm going on my Instagram feed. I'm just seeing like black square, black square, black square, black square, black square. I swear to God, I had to scroll through like 20 of them before I got to like a regular post or even like an ad. I go, holy hell, what the hell's happening? And then I see everyone was posting with the hashtag Blackout Tuesday, and then I realized it was for the protest and everything. I didn't partake in posting a black square.
I didn't
just
either.
because I normally don't partake in stuff like that on social media, like reposting, like when their terrorist attacks in France. I wasn't like putting a French flag over my profile. I just I don't know. And when
I don't feel the need to post it online about me being supportive. I think
like I just generally don't do that stuff. Go ahead and post your black square. It's definitely showing a lot of I don't know.
Here's my
it's
take
definitely
on
bringing
it.
a lot of awareness. Holy hell, there's a lot of awareness. I think if you're on Instagram, you have to be aware of it at this point now.
Yeah, here's how I feel about it. I appreciate the sentiment, and I think people were doing it for the right reasons. But I think that it was pretty dumb to do that when that was the day that military were being deployed and all this everything was escalating. How bad of an idea is it to silence everyone on media when things are getting even worse? You need to spread that information. You need to post the videos of the protests even more so that day. And I think this isn't even a hot take. A lot of people came back on that and said, no, we need to keep sharing this information.
Yeah,
I appreciate the sentiment. I really do. I think it's a good idea to spread the word, but I don't think posting a black square is the best way to do that. I really don't. It was the wrong day to do that. I mean, that was the day that military were being deployed to the protests. I mean, you couldn't have picked a worse day.
Yeah.
Why would you want to show black squares on a day that all this shit's happening? We need videos. We need photos. I mean, we've seen where videos get posted and then later that day, for example, Governor Cuomo of New York has looked into stuff because the videos started circulating around online. That's what we need to do. We need to keep showing people all the injustices that are happening at these protests. That's what we need to do. But like I said, I get the sentiment behind it, and I think the word does need to be spread. But I don't think that the best way to do that is a black square. I really don't.
Yeah. I'm still glad that people are taking the streets and go protesters, team protests. But I will admit I did post one thing on my story, not on like my actual profile, but I posted something along the lines of like, if you really want to do something, instead of posting like a black fucking square, just register to vote.
Yeah.
Register to vote and fucking cast a ballot. And for California, our next election is in November when we're voting for the president. Because the people who appoint the police chiefs, the people who are appointing the judges, are the people that we elect.
Yep.
If you elect the right people, they're gonna put the right people in place. So do something that fucking matters. Either take to the streets and go in front of the mayor's house, or I saw a bunch of people in front of Mayor City's house. Go to town hall, go whatever fucking city you live in, even if you live in bumfuck nowhere. Go out and show your support. Or / fucking vote. I can't stress that enough. If you register to vote, that's the most that you can do for the political system, apart from storming the fucking White House.
If we want systematic changes, which is what we need right now, if we want systematic changes to our police departments, we need to change the system, right?
Yes.
I mean,
because
and keep protesting, keep spreading the word, but ultimately change is going to happen by electing officials that are going to fit our agendas to change. So
yeah, like, you have to realize, as good as these protests are and the support that we're seeing, the momentum is going to die out.
Yeah,
it always does. Even like in the LA riots and the Kaepernick controversies, and even when Eric Garner and all these other people that have died, all these protests died out and the momentum was lost, and things go back to what we perceive as normal. If you want a change to happen, you can't just throw all your weight in the protests, because you need to vote.
Yeah, the protest is great. It has so much momentum behind it. It's worldwide. Everyone's seeing the message, but we need to have some sort of message of an actual call to action, because the protests are great for raising awareness, but I don't think there's a clear call to action for what people need to do other than letting officials know, hey, we're fucking pissed, which I think is great. It's good to show them that we're sick of this right now. But I think that it needs to be a better message that, okay, you need to go out and vote. This is how that's the best way right now for us to change stuff.
Yeah. And you might make the argument that in your hometown or wherever you are voting, the good people are already in office. Fair enough. These protests are doing good in the sense that you're showing the good people like your enthusiasm for these issues,
right?
And it's showing your support, and you're almost forcing their hand to do the right thing, because if you don't, all this enthusiasm is going to get them the fuck out.
It's working. A lot of there's been a lot of Republican politicians' statements that are saying, I don't know about Donald Trump anymore. There's been a couple of governors and senators and I don't know exactly, but politicians that have came out and been like, this is, I don't know about Donald Trump anymore, and that's what we need. And that's what these protests are being good for right now. These politicians are knowing that we are not happy, and it's bringing out a side of Donald Trump that's awful, but it's showing people just how bad he can be, which is great. That's why the protests are good, and I'm fully in support of them.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately we need to still keep voting. We need to vote. Yes. Everybody needs to show up. Our age group specifically needs to show up and vote. I don't know who you voted in the what is it called? The primaries.
What year? In March.
I voted for Bernie, and the voter turnout for our state for our age group was atrocious. We need to get out and vote. You need to stop posting stuff on social media and vote, or keep posting stuff on media. But if you do, go out and vote. Back it up. You need to make your voice heard through voting instead of just agreeing with people on Twitter, right?
Yeah, here's the thing about young people. Coming from a young person, they are fucking fantastic when it comes to aggression. Like, they will take the streets, they will storm your fucking house.
Which is good.
On either side. Like, they'll call you a piece of shit racist pig, or they'll call you a communist loving faggot. They're great when it comes to that, but when it comes to voting, it is pathetic. Like,
Yep.
young people, you need to step your game up.
Yep.
You need to get out there and do what these boomers are doing. Fucking vote. The boomers, they're not dumb when it comes to voting. They
Because
know
the
how to
poll
get out there.
numbers right now, Biden's way up in comparison. There were some
Yeah.
polls that I saw in comparison to Hillary and Obama and other people in the past, and
Oh, yeah,
Biden's
like
way
same
up
timeline.
compared to those. But we need to not assume. Okay, last election, everybody thought Hillary was going to win, right? Everybody did.
Yeah,
There was
all the
no, in
polls,
my
yeah.
mind, there was no way that Donald Trump was winning. She was way ahead, and she didn't win. We need to not assume that Joe Biden's going to win, and we have to go out and vote. And even if it's an absolute blowout, good, but go and vote, no matter
Yeah.
what the polls are saying.
Because it's gonna be close, man.
Even if
It-
it's
it-
not close, just go out and vote. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
what the polls show. You have
Yeah,
to go
yeah.
out and vote. You have to. And that also means to go out and vote locally. If you want changes to your
Yeah.
police department, if your police department's having issues, you need to make local changes.
Yeah.
Your local government. I'm guilty of that. I, in the past, was not. I wasn't as informed with local politics as I should have been, and I absolutely should have been. If you want systematic changes, you have to start with the system, and the system goes beyond just the president of the U.S. Right?
It's true. As far as California goes, almost every county doesn't have an election until November. So California's pretty set on there. You don't have to worry too much.
Yep.
There was a special election in LA like yesterday or like the day before.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nuts. But as far as the rest of the nation, there's elections to vote for like the Democrats, as well as whatever statewide
Yep.
issues you have. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, November's the time for Californians and everyone else. But if you first of all register. If you feel like you've registered, you can go to vote.gov and check if you're registered. And if you're not, then you can just do it right there. It's pretty simple. All you need is like the last 4 digits of your social security number and your driver's license number.
Yep. And if
you
you're
don't have those,
if
then you
you're an
just work
out-of-state college student, register for an out-of-state ballot. That's what I did.
Oh yeah,
Don't put that
great.
shit off. Do not put that shit off like I did. I put that shit off last election, out of state, and my ballot got lost somewhere in the mail, and I didn't have time to
Yeah.
request another one. And I've had
Yeah,
that
I got
happen with
those
friends. Do
paper
not
back.
do what I did and wait till the last minute if you're out of state. Look, I'm guilty. I should have done it sooner too. So I'm the last one to be lecturing, but I'm telling you out of experience to do that shit now.
Yeah, it takes
Get
time
ready. Know if
for-
you're ready to vote. Know when your election is. Do that shit now. Do not
Yeah,
wait
'cause-
until the last minute. It's fucked me in the past, and it's fucked some
Bad.
of my friends in the past. Do it now.
You can't. You have to have it in the mail like way before
Yep.
the Tuesday that
Yeah.
stuff's already counted because
Do
it
that
needs
now.
to be there on time.
Even if
So
you're
get
not
that
out of
shit in.
state, get your shit together right now. Figure out where you're voting, when you're voting, who you're voting for. Look up all of your local officials and pick the one that's the best fit for whatever you want to see changed in. Because I
Yeah.
guarantee you there's going to be a lot of people that are coming out right now for local elections that are going to have clear plans directly related to what's going on right now in the country.
And here, I'll take it one step further. If you have no fucking clue who to vote for, like you get your ballot and you're like, fuck yeah, this is the first time I'm voting. How the fuck do I do this? I will make a personal promise. If you're in California, I'll make this promise for you. Because outside, if you're in Minnesota or where the fuck, you're kind of on your own. But if you're in California and you care about police, I will go down the ballot issue by issue and tell you what to vote for. You don't have to take my advice, but who I tell you to vote for will be in favor of police reform.
We should do that on podcast. We should go through
Yeah.
the California ballotee and just read them off and give our thoughts about it.
Yeah,
We'll read
make
their
that
direct
promise for you
prompts
right now.
first. We'll read the direct prompt first, so you're
As long as
getting
it's
the
legal.
exact information. Yeah, as
Yeah,
long
I'm
as
not
we'll
sure.
have to check the
We'll have to look.
legalities
We'll
on
have to
that.
look into that, but
If it's
yeah, we're not gonna-
legal, you have our word. We'll say
there'll
that
be
if it's
some way-
legal.
yeah, there'll be some way to do it. But yeah, we'll help you out. We're on your team, so
Um,
we'll get that done.
and definitely do not vote for Donald Trump. If you
I'll tell
want
you
to
that
see,
right now.
if you're with us on these issues right now, I don't think we need to say it, but if you don't know what you're doing, I
Yeah.
don't think that Donald Trump is the best fit to fix the issues we're having right now, to say the least, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. Also, say let's talk about Donald Trump and his issues right now in the current media, because I feel like what he's arguing is a very easy trap to fall into if you are on the border. I don't know how. First of all, I don't know how the fuck you're on the border at this point. You're either Team Trump or you're Team Biden. I I don't understand how
It's
you can be
Donald
on the
Trump
border,
versus the U.S. That's what it boils down to in my mind,
essentially.
and a
But
lot of people's mind.
let's talk about this, because Donald Trump, he'll go out and say, George Floyd was a horrible act of violence and it should never be repeated. And he'll say that for 10 seconds. And then for 10 minutes, he'll talk about looters and violent protesters and how that needs to be shut down and we need to show strength. So let's talk about that for a second. If you believe that looters and rioters are a bigger problem than the protests for George Floyd and police injustice, let me shine some fucking light on you. I'm not in support of looters and rioters.
I don't think a lot of
but-
people are. No, I don't think most
Right,
people are.
almost like no one is. But I am not going to come out here and condemn them either, because if you have a group of people that have been oppressed for centuries, literally been enslaved at the start of the nation's birth for hundreds of years, only then to be let out and then segregated for another century or however long it was, completely ousted in society, and then the civil rights movement happens. They literally have to fight and die just for their rights to not be segregated. Once that happens, they're still put down in society in terms of systematic racism and different measures like that. Like even to this day, there is still racism, which is very clear.
Yeah.
With this police injustice, you can't tell them how to protest. You can't say don't go on the highway because it's an inconvenience to me. You can't say don't take a knee because it disrespects my nation. You can't say don't fight against the police because you're putting people's lives in danger. You need to shut the fuck up, and you need to realize that police injustice and racism in this country is a way bigger problem, orders of magnitude larger than a Target getting looted.
Yeah. I will say
That's the take. That's the
the
correct take.
big issue, there's a lot of stuff going around on social media about how people are outraged about the big issue for them as looters and not racial injustice. To me, racial injustice is the root of all this. It's the
Yes.
absolute problem behind what's going on, and that's why this shit's happening. So to me, in my eyes, the massive issue that is causing all of this is racial injustice, which definitely exists. However,
Yeah.
I don't condone looting. I don't think it's good. I think it can destroy your community, okay? If you're in a poor community and you're looting your local stores, you're hurting yourself still. Now, that isn't to say
Sure,
I
yeah.
understand why it's happening. I totally do. And it's
Yeah.
because of this racial injustice that's not fair and not okay. I just think there's better ways to approach it. But I mean,
Yeah,
absolutely the big issue is racial injustice. Absolutely.
Yeah, there have been psychological studies that I've read headlines for, so don't pretend like I'm an expert on this, but I've seen headlines that say when you're fighting for some cause, the people that are radical and taking it to the next level and are very extreme hurt the cause.
Yeah.
Which is fair. Like, that goes for any cause. But if you want to solve the looting problem, the answer is not crack down with police and beat the fuck out of them. The answer is listen to them and realize that it's going to go away if you just reform the police and start putting an end to racism. Because if you don't, it's just going to pop up the next time someone else dies.
And I've also seen another argument that it just people will say that police do this stuff to all races, but it's just televised with black folks and colored folks. Go fuck yourself. No, it's not. If white people were treated the same way as minorities, specifically black people, that shit would be plastered on social media. Plastered. There's no way. Anyone who uses that argument, ask them to name the last white person who was treated unfairly by the police. Do it. See what their answer is. Because that's what I asked, and they had no response. None. So fuck you if you say that it happens to white people too, but it's not televised. Fuck you if you believe that. You're saying that because it fits your agenda. Go fuck yourself. No, it doesn't. That's what I have to say about that.
There's some fucking bars right there.
And to supplement the looting argument, I think like I've already said, I think a lot of the looting and rioting isn't necessarily the peaceful protesters. It's two different entities. It doesn't mean that they're leftist protesters. There was the Antifa group that I talked about. I've seen stories about government agents that are starting that shit. It's not the protesters. I'm sure some of them are, but my opinion is the way it's starting is not the protesters. We've all seen the videos of the protesters stopping the looters like, hey, this is not what we're here to do. We're not here to loot this store. Right?
Yeah. This all happened because George Floyd.
Yeah.
And years of oppression. George Floyd was the catalyst for all this to happen, but the reason is because of all the history of it.
Correct.
So, yeah, don't say that looters started and the police had to crack down. Bullshit. Looters didn't start this mess. Speaking of looters, let's go back to our
let's
two
talk
favorite
about the
white
Pauls.
boys.
First
Our two
of
favorite
all,
white boys. Yeah.
We'll talk about that, and then we'll take a funny segment that still deals with these issues. But I found a really funny guy on Twitter that I hope sees us because I'm absolutely going to tag him.
Okay.
But anyways,
So
we'll talk about Jake and Logan Paul. Jake Paul is in trouble. Logan Paul said something that I actually agree with. I'm not a fan of Logan Paul, but his statement that he made on his podcast, absolutely I can get behind.
Did he really?
Good for him. Yeah, we'll play the video
every
first.
Time,
let's do the bad first. Let's do the bad first.
Okay, let's start with
So Jake Paul, I always mix up their names, but this is from, I'll pull it up on stream here. This is from NBC News. Jake Paul, one of the Paul brothers, there was a bunch of videos circulating of him being with a group of people that were in a mall that was broken into, and there were people in the video that were looting and breaking windows. And to be fair, the video didn't show him doing any of that, but it was pretty clear that his group of people was doing that. So he was charged with trespassing because he was in an Arizona mall, I believe in Scottsdale, after it was looted. There's plenty of video of this. I think it's on here. Yeah, we'll play the video here. There's kind of a lot of it. It's only a minute, but
Oh shit!
Also keep in mind that the Snapchat isn't Logan Paul's Snapchat. It's someone else, but you can see him in all of these frames. He's there.
He's right there on. Isn't that him?
Yep.
The blurry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit! Oh my god, it's getting crazy. Oh shit!
Yeah, a little sus. Jeez.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Hey yo, give me a free cologne.
Yeah, so that's basically the gist of it. I mean, he's with a group of people that are looting this mall in Arizona.
In Arizona.
In Arizona, Scottsdale, I believe.
Does he live in Arizona?
Maybe, man. I don't keep up with the Pauls, man. So yeah,
I feel like he's an LA guy.
I don't really know what to say about that. I didn't see any video of him looting. I think people need to carry the same energy about people looting when it comes to people like this. Like I said, I don't condone people who are looting, but it looks like that mall was closed and people broke into it. Probably not the smartest thing to do. I don't really have a comment on that.
So
he did have a message that came out, and he basically said that me and my group weren't engaged in the looting; they were just there, basically. He
They were
was
just
in
there.
favor of the injustices, not of the injustices. Sorry, he was in favor of the protests in regard to the injustices. He said he was tear gassed for filming the events. You know, he's in favor of it, and he basically said, "Hey, we weren't the ones looting; we were just there." This is
So what, they were just
NBC
filming it?
News. If you want to, I guess they were just there filming it. Yeah, I don't know.
is he trying to like rat people out?
He
on
also
film,
he also
or-
tweeted out to just give him his charges and focus back on George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement, which I don't know if that's a thing to
Okay.
try to save his ass or something, but I mean
Yeah,
that's
I'm
a
not
good
sure.
that's a good statement though. I mean he's just saying like, hey, don't put me in the headlines. Just let's get back to the issue. Just give me my charges and we'll get back to Black Lives Matter and George Floyd, which I think is respectable. Like I said, I'm not a fan of the Paul brothers, but I mean it's good that he's not using this to. I mean it might just be a get out of jail free card for him, but either way, he's not trying to draw attention to himself, which I think is
So,
good either way.
Was he just like a looting like tourist? Like did he just like drive to fucking Arizona and just like witness like what's going on?
I have no clue. I don't know if he lives there or what. I think he probably does, but I don't know.
Well, a quick Google search says he has a house in Calabasas.
I'm sure he has a lot of houses and he's very rich.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I don't have a statement. I think it's good he's not using
I
it
don't know, man.
to use it to his own benefit.
I mean, he has so many people that follow him. It's so fucking easy to just go to the protest and like everyone else and peacefully protest and just show people like the right way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly there because of the madness that's going on. At least that's what it seems like to me. I
Yeah.
think if he
Like-
wanted to go to a peaceful protest, he would have shown that. There would be videos of that instead of him doing the looting. But maybe there is and we haven't seen it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm just so cynical that I think he's doing it just to like show that he's part of it and get more views out of it and
Yeah, but if they were at the peaceful
Make it on
protest, you'd
him.
think they would come out with videos of that instead of this. I mean,
yeah.
this wasn't his videos that were being shown, but I mean, maybe he has videos of him being at the peaceful protest, but I haven't seen them if they're there. So
I don't
know.
maybe we're
You'd
just
think
grossly.
you'd think that if people were doing that stuff, he would say, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't do that," you know. But I mean,
You'd think.
it is what it is. I mean, I think that's all there is to say about that. But his brother,
Yeah,
believe
let's
it's-
focus.
I believe it's
let's
his
do the other one.
podcast that he came out with this on. Again, I'm not a
Did
fan of the
he-
Pauls, but this video is
Okay, so he's talking.
is
instead of,
real
like,
good.
going to
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm
Okay.
gonna.
This is easier to comment on then.
I've seen it. I'm gonna mute myself and go grab a snack while this plays out. It's a 2-minute long video, so I'm gonna play it now.
Okay, I'll just watch it on stream.
This let me. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna start the video. I'll be right back.
Listen closely. One of my biggest learnings from all of this, and I'm embarrassed that it's taken me 25 years to realize this. It is not enough to be not racist. You have to be anti-racist.
Yes.
Condemn those who feign superiority because of the color of their skin. Friends, hold friends accountable. Hold your family accountable. Hold yourself accountable. And most importantly, we must hold our authorities accountable. Police officers, politicians, policymakers.
Is this Logan Paul saying
As
some
Killer
shit
Mike
that's
said,
not dumb?
Bully the politicians at the voting booth. Make your voice heard. Attend a protest. Speak up against injustice. If you're white, if you look like me, use your privilege. And for those who do not think white privilege exists, you are fucking blind. You are delusional and you are part of the problem. I can count on 0 hands the amount of times that I have feared for my life at a routine traffic stop. That has never happened. Half of the reason I'm able to get away with some of my hooligan shit I do in my vlogs is because I'm a white kid. I'm confident that I do not have to fear for my life should the cops show up. Acknowledge and weaponize your privilege. I believe we're going to a protest today. You can bet your fucking ass I'll be in the front line. Knowing all this about America, its racially charged background, its inability to truly treat humans as equals, even after 244 years since its inception, We must now work towards finding the solution. And if you are an influencer or celebrity friend
Okay,
of
this is
mine,
obviously
I
scripted,
hope you
but
are
it's
using your
good.
platform to continue to spread the message of solidarity and unity. I do not have all the answers, but I know we must now reverse engineer the system as a collective. We must open our eyes and realize that there is only one race, and that is the human race. On behalf of Breonna Taylor, we must change. On behalf of Ahmaud Arbery, we must advance. And on behalf of George Floyd and the hundreds of others who have been unjustly murdered in this country, we must evolve.
Scripted or not, it was a great statement.
That's a good fucking take. Yeah.
I think there's a
Am I
lot
saying
of
this for the first
problems
time
with
ever?
influencers and podcasters about, oh, you're just doing this for X. Oh, you're just doing this for Y. Or when people donate, they say, oh, you're just doing this to save yourself or to look good. It shouldn't matter. If you're doing good, you're doing good. If
Yeah.
it's scripted, if it's to make him look good, who cares? He has a huge audience, and to say that is real powerful. And it was a good statement, and it's absolutely true in my eyes.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's
good for him.
Yeah. Put all your cynicism away. That's a solid take right there. I can't say I've ever. I don't think I've ever seen.
I think that's the first time I've
a
ever
Paul
agreed
take
with
that
a
was
Paul.
ever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
like I don't. This might be new first. Congrats, buddy. You're on Team Good Side for the first time.
I hope he grows from this and he starts having more solid takes like this. I think the part that I really respected was when he said that he gets away with a lot of his hooligan shit, I think he said, because he's white.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great that he
That was
acknowledges
real.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad he sees that. That's a good.
Like him or not, you have to respect the sentiment. You have to.
Yeah.
I think most
Good
people
level of
have. I don't
respect
think
for
I've
him.
seen many people bashing him over it.
For this, no, I that's just solid right there. Yeah, there's really nothing to hate in that.
Yeah, I mean, to bash that, you kind of have to be a little bit ignorant, I think.
Yeah, true.
I mean, right now we want
Wow.
white
Yeah,
people to step up and use their platform to help, and that's exactly what this is. So that's
I
what I'll
thought
say
this was
about
gonna
that.
be I thought this was gonna be like a 20-minute segment where we just like debate some stupid shit that some Paul said, but
No, pretty good take, pretty
it
solid.
kind of just stands on its own. There's not much to say there.
Yeah, absolutely. Word, Logan Paul.
Good shit. All right, well, let's change to something that's not a good take.
Well, let's do some. There's a guy I found on Twitter that's hilarious, man. He
Yeah, all
only
right,
has
let's see.
he only has 600 followers, and I'm saying that because he's hilarious, man. He deserves a lot more. He has some really funny videos. It almost reminds me of SNL skits of like Donald Trump or something. But
Okay.
they're fucking hilarious. If his name is at it's John Walsh, this guy's hilarious. Go check him out on Twitter. And
All right,
John
yeah.
Walsh, if you're watching this, come on our show. We love you. It's hilarious. I'll play. There's a few of them. We'll watch 2 or 3 of them. They're pretty short.
Okay.
In the criminal justice system, only some offenses and Twitter fact checks are considered especially heinous. These detectives are members of an elite squad known as the Trump White House Unit. These are their stories. What do we got here? A few storefronts. It looks like severe blunt force trauma to the windows. Well, this is because of state and local governments. They're weak. They need to show their dominance. I mean, if we can we send the military in? Are we allowed to do that? I mean, I did take the oath to be your president of law and order.
It's hilarious. It's great.
In the criminal justice
I think he has some more ones that are pretty funny.
Was there another one? Yeah. Coming out of
I went down during the day and I was there for a tiny little short period of time. It was much more for an inspection. I really wasn't even down there. Damn it!
That shit's hilarious, dude. I think what does it for me is his impression of Donald Trump. It's hilarious. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
his-
something about it is just so funny, dude.
Good impression.
His outfit's solid. I love it.
Yeah, I'm surprised he put that orange on his face. He's dedicated.
He's not mine.
Hi, yes, Karen Trump here. I'd like to speak to a manager.
Yes, this is a manager.
Well, I'm looking to cancel my Who membership.
Yes, you can cancel anytime online.
Who?
I'd like to do it over the phone, and I have my member ID right in front of me. I can
Well,
read you the
ma'am,
number.
you can only cancel on our site.
Well, are you sure you're the manager then? I just don't think I use it enough. I mean, I spend about $450 million, which is a lot more than China does. And I just think
I love
it's
it.
not fair. And I understand there's a pandemic going on, so I was wondering if there was a discount
That's
for
great.
that. And if
That's
there's
funny.
not,
Come on our
okay,
show.
'cause I'll just redirect my
Say
funds
hi.
Yeah.
elsewhere.
Doesn't have to be
Yeah,
the whole
man.
segment. Doesn't have to be the whole
Again,
podcast.
his at is it's John Walsh. He's fucking hilarious. Go check him out.
At
I
John
started
Walsh.
following him. Told you he's gonna start following him. It's great. It's a good time.
Yeah. We'll add him.
Hilarious.
We'll shout him out.
Yeah, man, that guy's going play. I'd like to see that guy on SNL. His Donald Trump
Be a
impression
writer.
is top tier. I want to see
It's
that
good.
more. Yeah. Yeah, there's that. Pretty funny. I like it. I'm glad I found that.
Yeah, hold on. I'm not sure if there's background noise, but I'm fucking right now. Well,
You're what?
I'm starving.
Oh, yeah, I'm also starving. I'm gonna go get food like immediately after this is over. I'm
Mhm.
hungry as fuck.
I tried to. Yeah, let me finish eating. Hold on.
I'm gonna go back to the LeBron James and Drew Brees thing.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers came out with a statement as well that I really
Aaron
respected.
Rodgers.
Aaron
Is
Rodgers,
this,
football or
another
quarterback for the Packers. Yeah, the Packers.
This is true. No.
I gotta find the video to play.
I
Let me find it.
hope he has a good tip. For the sake of the NFL.
I gotta find it.
The NFL always seems to. Remember back when there was some owner, some team NFL team owner. There was like some secret recording of him dropping some harsh language
Which one?
about. There was some old white guy. He owned an NFL team, or maybe it was an NBA team. I think it was an NBA team. Oh yeah, he owned the Clippers. And he had some harsh language towards black folks.
Yeah. So he didn't have a video. He just put on his Instagram with it was a. I'll show it, I guess.
Okay.
There was a time where he was with his teammates and they were together in solidarity, like holding arms and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And his caption said, "A few years ago, we were criticized for locking arms in solidarity before the game. It has never been about an anthem or a flag. Not then, not now. Listen with an open heart. Let's educate ourselves and then turn the word and thought into action," which I thought was pretty awesome.
Thank God.
Someone,
Yeah.
another football player of that caliber to come out and support, I think is really cool.
That's good. All these, and like American sports always are just they normally are on the wrong side, whatever fucking reason. But this time they seem to get it right. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, football always seems to have lots of political controversy. Lots of it.
Whatever reason.
Why do you think it is? Let's talk about it.
There's a lot of old white people.
you think what do you think the least political or most left-leaning sport is? Maybe basketball?
No, because they had that Clippers thing where the owner.
Hmm.
I mean, the players are
I think
normally pretty good.
the basketball organization in general, though, I think is pretty solid. I think they also have a lot of sponsors, like Nike and Adidas, that support the good cause. I think that helps.
Oh yeah, they're pretty bold. I remember Nike supported Kaepernick
Yeah,
a while ago.
one of the
They
only
took a lot of
companies
heat
that
for
did,
that.
because he lost a lot of
Yeah.
sponsors, didn't he? What other
Yeah, he
sponsors
did.
did he lose? I bet they're feeling real stupid right now.
What sponsors didn't he lose? Yeah. I don't know. NFL and NBA normally are normally the biggest voices.
I feel like basketball might be the most left-leaning, but I think a few other sports are just kind of pretty neutral. I think hockey's pretty
I feel like
neutral.
they're most pretty neutral.
I
Yeah,
think
they mostly
MLB's
are.
pretty neutral.
MMA seems to be pretty. At least the president is right leaning for whatever reason.
Yeah, but I don't think the UFC organization is politicized very much.
Well,
Like,
just
they don't
the
have
president, Dana
very
White.
many political issues. Yeah, just the president, but he doesn't make it about. I think he's just a money fiend, you know.
Yeah, I get that idea too.
UFC 50, Amanda Nunes, baby.
Oh, dude, who's she gonna
Nunes.
shit on this time?
I gotta pull up the card now. I totally forgot about this. I'm excited. When is it? It is
Is it
2
like
days.
next week or something?
Saturday. This Saturday.
Oh hell yeah!
Amanda Nunes versus Felicia Spencer. I'm excited. Amanda Nunes is a fucking badass. She slaps.
She is the greatest pound for pound fighter this world's ever seen.
For bantamweight, Sean O'Malley's fighting. He's 11-0 right now. He's slamming the guy with the crazy afro hair.
Hold up on stream. Let me see. Do you have the card?
Yeah, the card right here. I'll show it right now.
Yeah, let's show this shit.
Amanda Nunes is the main event.
Oh, there's some good people here. Okay.
I'm really excited to see O'Malley fight because he's I really enjoy watching him fight. And he's 11-0. He slaps, man.
Good.
I'm real excited for this main event. How fucking awesome is it that there's women main events in UFC now? I think that's awesome. It's awesome.
Really, yeah. I think Ronda Rousey played a big part in that. Good on her, but I'm glad.
Felicia Spencer's pretty good as well, though. I don't know. It's gonna be a good fight. I'm still gonna give it to Nunes, though.
How heavily is Nunes favored? Like Vegas odds?
Let's go to Vegas odds.
Oh my God, 670.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Holy hell!
If you're a gambling man, you want to make some money, put some money on Spencer. You're gonna make some big bucks.
Well, you're probably gonna fucking. You're gonna lose if you put money on Spencer. But I don't know. Do some Monte Carlo simulations.
670. That's. I mean, you're making money if she loses, though. What's in the prelims? See if I recognize any of these people. I don't recognize it. Charles Bird, I recognize. Early prelims, I doubt I'll recognize any of them. Oh, it's one of them's canceled. Well, main card, I'm real excited to see that one.
Where are they fighting? Is it Vegas or is it Florida again?
UFC Apex. Probably Florida again.
Oh, that's their new arena.
No, it's Vegas. It's Vegas.
Yeah, they got some like new arena that they built.
Yep.
Yeah,
Las
it's Vegas. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. It's not like one of the hotels. But
yeah, it looks like a UFC building. I didn't realize they had that.
Yeah, I think they built like their own little arena. It's a small little thing. It doesn't hold a crowd, I don't think, but
well, they don't need one right now because I think that they're still doing the social distancing thing. Did you see the last UFC that one of the fighters tested positive and his fight got canceled? But
for what?
One of the fighters on UFC 249, when these people when they show up, they all get tested. Everyone who shows up, the team, the fighters, everyone gets tested. The announcers, everybody. And one of the fighters that was scheduled to fight had it, and his whole team did too. So that fight got canceled.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty wild. Can you imagine if there was a COVID outbreak, how much shit Dana White would face?
Yeah.
Like if they didn't catch it, or there was a bunch of other people that got it, that'd be wild. Dana White would not hear the end of that one.
Can I just say, I am so fucking happy that I don't have to hear about COVID news every day in the news now because there's other stuff happening.
We don't, but we shouldn't sweep it under the rug either. It's still happening.
I'm in favor of sweeping under the rug. I am sick and tired hearing this shit.
It's shitty to hear about, but it's still here. We should still worry about it. I mean, it's wild though because most people aren't even wearing masks still. I mean,
well, in protests, there's not.
Yeah, but I mean, if you just go out to go grab lunch or dinner or something, I mean, even I went to a few stores yesterday, and even all the workers in the stores weren't wearing them. That was pretty wild to me.
Really? Oh, that's kind of sus.
Yeah, they don't seem pretty crazy. I don't think it's mandated anymore to have to wear it though. So, Lots of the Walmart employees weren't wearing them. I went to grab lunch, and all the people in the little sandwich shop I went to weren't wearing them.
Huh.
Pretty crazy, but
Where
I mean,
where was this?
Victorville.
Oh. Might be different.
No, that's the fight card. I'm real excited for Nunes fight. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, there we have. Well, let's see. Oh, did you want to talk about future podcast plans?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So we are fucking hyped to
Amped, if you will.
amped to ramp up the quality of the podcast. It's not gonna happen next week or the week after. So
Probably
don't
not for
get
a
your-
month or so.
Yeah, don't get your panties
at
in a wad.
least.
But once our degrees get put to work, if that ever happens,
Right.
and we get some serious income flowing, we can just throw some money at this and hope it works.
Our plans include we want to do this together. We don't live very far from each other. We're gonna do it in person with a webcam. We're gonna have cameras and real studio mics, like good mics with the preamp and all that. They'll have better sound quality. But I'm just excited to do it in person. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we can record our reaction with the video cameras. Be hilarious.
Yeah.
If you thought this was good content, fucking wait.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're hopefully so slowly over time we'll.
Slowly
I think
but
our
surely.
first upgrade is probably going to be mics.
Mics
Does
for sure.
Does that
Mics.
sound right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Real mics
Mics.
with XLR adapters,
Get
XLR
XLR,
cables.
get the pop
actually.
filter.
Yep.
Get the whole nine.
Preamp will be nice, but definitely do it in person. I'm really excited for that too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I don't think we can just record with our phones, but
No.
I don't have that much space. But we'll get something nice. We'll treat you guys
I don't
right.
think webcams are too bad though. I think
No, I
the
don't
nice
think so.
the nice mics are gonna be more. We'll
Yeah,
figure it
that's
out
all
though.
right, though.
Eventually
We'll
we'll get there.
get there. We'll have some fun with it.
Yeah, figure it out.
We'll
We'll do it.
So that'll happen. That'll be fun.
Lots
What
of fun.
about I don't know. Do you want to keep talking about protests? It's not, I had a link to like
How-
so we
yeah,
both grew
how-
up in our hometown.
What? Okay, there's a lot of stuff going around right now about solutions to these problems that I've seen floating around, like defunding police and a lot
yeah.
of. So let's talk about the ways that are being proposed right now, pros and cons, and ways we think we need to fix it. Here's my take. I think the problem is we need to get change at the highest levels in government, in elections, like in the words of Killer Mike, to
Federal?
beat them up in the election. So local government, state
Local.
government, the presidential election, that's where we need the biggest change at. I think that's how we're going to get those changes. There needs to be like policy implemented to change it, right? Not just, hey, stop being
Yeah.
racist. There needs to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
systematic changes for systematic problems. That's
Right.
how I feel. I've seen the big argument that I've been seeing thrown around in one way or another is defunding police. I don't think that's.
Yeah, that's been going around.
I mean, maybe police don't need as much funding, but that's not going to fix racism or systematic oppression from police
Right.
departments. Defunding them is just, it means that all of the tenured police who are getting away with shit are just going to be the ones left, right?
Yeah.
There needs to be changes that. What I think is a great idea. I saw. I don't remember what state or city it was, but some state set up a civilian-ran task force to review police brutality cases. I think that's a really good start. I think fucking
Mhm.
body cams on police need to not stop working conveniently for police. okay?
Conveniently, yeah.
Yeah, because police need to be held accountable, and if they know whatever they do is going to be recorded, and there's going to be actual repercussions, hopefully, after all these protests, their fucking cams need to not be able to be turned off by them, right? That's how fucking
Or
stupid
just,
is that?
Yeah. Or just like
Hey,
push
you're
to the
being
side.
watched, but if you click the off button, you're okay.
Yeah, or somehow like the mic is now
Yeah.
or the video is pointing inside the shirt.
Yeah,
Like,
inside
oh.
the shirt. Yeah. Oh, how convenient. How convenient that it accidentally flipped around when the guy died. How convenient is
when
that?
you died, yeah. When you killed him.
Yeah.
So yeah, that needs to happen. I did see one thing that I will criticize about the protests that I think Hong Kong does a better job than we do, but I think we're making some progress. Is coming up with specific, like extremely specific demands
Yeah,
as to what
yeah.
needs to happen for us to be satisfied.
That's what I hinted at earlier. We need to have like a clear call to action, which in
Right.
my opinion was right now voting. That's the most clear way we're going to see changes if we vote people in who have the same interests as us. Right?
Sure, yeah, like voting 100%.
But in general,
in Hong Kong, what they're doing is they had like a list of like 6 or 7 demands, and they're specific. Like this person list name needs to go.
Yeah.
And then this law needs to be refuted, and then like they kind of just go down the line, and it is like these protests aren't going to stop until X, Y, and Z happens, and they were
Right.
specific about it.
Yeah.
If what I've started to see some demands from the Black Lives Movement, and I'm sure they've had demands like all along, not that didn't just start right now, but even the demands that I'm seeing now, I saw something like there was a take 8, like there's 8 steps that need to happen, or I saw another one that was like 3. I don't know. There have been demands, but they aren't specific enough.
Yeah, I
It's just
agree.
like, yeah, it's like, oh, we need to implement a civilian board.
We need
like,
to stop
okay.
racism. Okay, yes, we do.
Yeah, yeah.
How are we going to do that?
You're right. Yeah, like you need to either list a law that needs to be revoked, or you need to list a department that needs to be created, and what it does, how, like who's gonna put like specific people, because if you list just vague things, there's always going to be people that say no, that's not right, or yes, that is right.
Yeah.
If you get specific with it, it's you're making it black and white. You're making it a 1 or a
Right.
0.
Right,
You
because
can't.
if
yeah.
you have really generalized demands, then even the politicians who don't necessarily agree with you will say, "Oh,
Right.
yeah, yep, I agree. We should end racism." And you'll say, "Oh, cool, this guy's on our side."
Cool. Yeah.
But
And
their policy's not going to reflect that, right?
right.
So you need to have
Yeah.
clear like we need this, this, and that. Okay.
Yeah.
We
exactly.
need police cams to not be able to turn off or be moved. There should be some repercussions if it happens to turn the other way when something happens. There needs to be clear demands, like you said, what Hong Kong did.
Right.
I totally agree with that.
That's the biggest thing that needs to happen. And once that gets sorted out, I'm sure that it'll get easier.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be the one making those demands. That's not for me to make. And we'll see.
Yeah, we don't know the best solutions, but there needs to be a list of unified solutions that we, like the protesters and all the people in support of this, are with, and that we can tell lawmakers and politicians like, hey, this is what we want, and if you agree with this, then that's who we'll vote for, because that's the policy that we want.
Right. Agreed.
So elections, local, state, presidential, all the elections, that's how you're going to do it.
Yeah.
But along with that, I think we need to organize better, like you said, list of
Right.
demands or what we want out of this.
So get on it.
Get on it,
people.
Get on it, people.
Get shit done. Make it happen.
What? How do you feel about defunding police as an idea? Because I feel like I'm in the minority when I say I don't necessarily agree with just defunding police.
So it depends on what you're defunding. Like, there's like abolish police, which is like the extreme side, which is like fuck the police.
You're out of your mind if you want to abolish police.
You're just wrong if you think we need to get rid of the police. Defunding the police, I think most, like in general, means like demilitarize is how I'm taking it.
I agree with that. Yeah.
That's a pretty solid take. The police don't need to be able to.
Well, actually, I have
fight a goddamn war.
There's a guy I follow on Twitter that had posted something about defunding police, and I asked him like what exactly he meant by that, because I genuinely wanted to know what his idea of defunding police was. And he linked me to a site called Reclaim the Block, which outlined some ideas of how defunding the police might work.
Okay.
If this ever loads, then I will go over them. I don't know why it's taking so long.
To refresh.
Yeah. Oh. Jesus Christ, I can't. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Oh.
I gotta find the right link. Okay. So like I said, this website is reclaimtheblock.org.
Yeah.
There's a petition. So in the wake of George Floyd's murder by MPD officer Derek Chauvin, Minneapolis Police Department escalated violence against the city's grieving black community. Minneapolis is in desperate need of visionary leadership. Totally agree with. I'm on board with.
Cool.
We have called on the Minneapolis City Council to become these visionary leaders by pledging to defund the Minneapolis Police Department and invest in the resources that really keep us safe and healthy, especially in black communities, indigenous communities, and communities of color. We have called on them to commit to the following by Saturday, May 30th at 8 a.m. 1. To never again vote to increase police funding or to increase the police department's budget. I think that's a really generalized statement. I mean, if something
never again
were to, yeah, I mean, you can't say never again.
Like 100 years from now.
I mean, what happens if what happens if there's some crazy invasion? I don't know, but you get the idea. If something wild were to happen, you can't just say never increase funding. But I mean, maybe if you say right now there's no need to increase these people's budget, I would get behind that. But I don't think.
Or just inflation. Like if there's a 5% inflation every year, they're just gonna get trashed.
The second point is to propose and vote for a $45 million cut from Minneapolis Police Department's budget as the city responds to Project COVID-19 shortfalls.
Okay, but what is that $45 million doing?
Yeah, it says as the city responds to projected COVID-19 shortfall. I think they're saying.
What does that even mean?
I think they mean that the city needs money for COVID-19, if I'm reading this right. So they need to cut the $45 million because the city is responding to these COVID-19 issues that they're having.
Oh, okay.
I think.
But again, what's the $45 million?
I mean, I feel like they should go more into detail about why that $45 million should be cut. I don't. Maybe there's more links on here that we can see that'll go into more detail about that.
Maybe.
To protect and expand current investment in community-led health and safety strategies instead of investing in police. I can get behind that. If you can say, if we take X amount of money from police because it goes to this, and we can instead invest it into community-led health and safety strategies, I can get behind that.
Yeah. I mean, in general. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's more specifics that you should outline for people to get behind it, but I would agree with that. I think it would be good to invest in safety strategies and community-led health. To do everything in my power to compel Minneapolis Police Department and all law enforcement agencies to immediately assist in acting violence on community members. I don't see how cutting their budget cutting their budget would lead to immediately ceasing violence, right? And if anything, if there's racist police officers there, they're going to get pissed that you just cut their budget. So I don't understand how that's going to help stop that. But I can see these points. I mean,
they're so general. Like, how are you going to stop violence when, like, part of the job of being a police officer is violent? Like, there is clearly unjust violence, but if there's some crazy crackhead coming at you with an axe, you kind of have to be violent. You know, like, it's part of the job.
Yeah, I saw Andrew Yang tweet something out about there should be someone you could call that wouldn't show up with a gun, which to a degree, I can understand why you'd want that, but you can't expect a police force to not say, oh, okay, well, this call is just some guy who's having a mental breakdown or something, so we shouldn't bring guns, right? Because if that guy has a weapon or a gun or something, you can't expect them to go in unarmed, and I don't know. That's how I feel about that.
Again, the problem is it's too general. You need to, like, what is that $45 million being cut? Like, what the money that was going to the police department that's now maybe going to education or public health? What was that going to buy? Like, if you want to cut down on violence, what part of violence? I mean, I'm sure just all violence in general, but again,
I can't see any more. I don't see any more talking points here about that. So I think that there definitely needs to be more clarification. Oh, there's an Instagram post about how it would work too. Okay, are you ready to dismantle the police now? Retrain yourself and those around you to not reflexively call or suggest calling the police. If you have not done so already, speak up every time it is suggested, especially if you're white. Okay? So try to not call the police if you can. I mean, I feel like a majority of people don't call the police unless it's... I mean, I can't think of a time that I've called the police, you know? I don't necessarily know how that works. Separate medical and fire calls from police calls. Have independent dispatching systems. Minneapolis is already looking into this. Other countries do it. I can get behind that.
That's easy. I like that.
Yeah, I can. I feel like just have the dispatchers only dispatch the fire department, though. I don't know why you'd need to have an independent system for that, but I can get behind that. If you have a fire, you don't need the cops to show up. I can get behind that. Constantly do the work to dismantle racism and anti-blackness in ourselves and our communities. Unravel patterns of white supremacy in our mind, actions, and systems. White people especially, but everyone. Threads of white supremacy are deep and need to be constantly challenged and unlearned. Take on the work of doing this in your identity groups. I don't see how that pertains to dismantling the police, but I mean,
yeah, like I'm behind it, but like how, like am I just gonna go do that? Like how, what? There's no policy here.
Establish networks of community safety. Collect the people you call if and when something happens. Build trust with those around you. Be discerning. Be expansive. Balance the need for privacy and security with making space for people who may not have deeply ingrained networks. Normalize leaning on each other. I can get behind that. I think that's just a good thing to do in general. You won't need to call the police as much, but I mean, I feel like, again, a lot of the stuff you call police for, it's not going to be the same thing you call your neighbor for, right? If someone's breaking into your house, you're not going to call your neighbor, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
But I mean, again, I can get behind that. I don't particularly see how that discredits the police or, defunds them. Our next point, follow the money, divest from police, and invest in community strengthening initiatives, programs, and resources. Disconnect schools and prisons, defund corporate interests, rework capitalistic structures, make sure people's needs are met. Look at housing, utilities, and food as a basic right. Create community funds and prioritize mutual aid. Separate access to money from systems of policing. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I don't particularly see how that defunds police again, but maybe these points are just saying if we defund police, this is what will happen. I'm not entirely sure. It's
I don't know. Maybe I'm expecting too much out of the general public to like create policy.
Yeah.
But in my mind, like if you keep just saying this general stuff that is fantastic and people agree with, but I don't know. If you want something to happen, just tell them what you want them to do. Don't say generally. Don't say just
practice
make the institution not racist.
Practice what you would do if someone needs help, if something happens, if someone is truly threatening you or someone else. I'm serious. Practice. Figure out what you would say or do. Save the numbers you would call. Save a group text. Inventory skills. Study de-escalation. Research first aid. Learn how to disarm someone. Practice weapon safety. Know your limits. Build your strength. That's a little extreme.
So
if someone draws a gun on me, I'm not gonna do some move that I learned on YouTube to try to disarm them. I'm gonna call the police. I'm not gonna deal with that. That's not.
Yeah, I'm not studying Taekwondo and like teaching or learning psychology to gently tell them to put down the gun.
Yeah, right.
Just have the police do the right fucking thing. Don't make me the police.
That's an instance where you shouldn't look to your neighbors or your safety net to call for help. You're not gonna call your neighbor and say, "Hey, I'm at the Target. I'm right outside on the third aisle. I'm being held at gunpoint. Can you come help me out? I really don't want to call the police right now." Yeah. Hey, your skill set included psychology, right? You said you could try to de-escalate. This guy's he said he's going to kill me. Can you come help?
You took a psychology class back in college, right? Great.
Yeah. I was with her on the safety net, but I think that if you're in that dangerous of a situation, there's not going to be You're not calling a fucking neighbor. I'm sorry.
No,
You're
that's
not.
what the police are for. Again, this is why we can't just get rid of police.
Look to young people, look to elders for models we can follow when conflict emerges. Address conflict early. This is especially necessary in cultures where passive-aggressive what does that say?
Niceties?
Nicety? I don't know what that means. Often embedded in racism or deeply ingrained. It may take generations to fully undo, but we can. Start now. Leave space and time for messy responses, acknowledgement, and change. Not excuses, manipulations, or invitations to allow future harm. But for true, again, I don't see how this pertains to defunding the police. I agree with all this, but I don't see how defunding the police would help with that. I think this is the last page.
God,
I think we get the general idea here.
Talk to kids. Does this really say learn from kids?
Again, this doesn't.
Holy hell!
How is this defunding the police? I can get behind most of these, but it doesn't make much sense that the title is defunding the police and it talks about sharing with kids. What does that mean about defunding the police?
Have the good one.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
yeah, this is starting to get dumber.
Yeah, so we get the gist there. I don't think that the statement, that's a very broad statement that I think we haven't seen how it would work to defund the police. I think that if there might be more detail about how it would work, I might be able to get more on board with it, but
Yeah.
there's no cut and dry statements that are being said, like if you cut X amount of dollars from police,
Yeah.
we can do this with it.
Or even better yet, a better solution is probably going to be some representative or senator is going to come up with legislation.
Yeah.
That has all the specifics, like
Right.
the dollar and what's getting cut, what's not getting cut, and what's going to happen, and then the people can decide. So like, yes, this is good. Yes, this is bad.
Vote.
That's
why we vote.
That's when voting comes in handy. So maybe like you don't need to be crafting the legislation yourself. I guess that's I don't know. That's not really our job. That's why we're electing these fucking people. But
right.
When good legislation comes out, like there hasn't been enough time for, I guess, legislation to come out from representatives. But when it comes out, we're gonna hear about it and we're gonna be able to vote if it's good or not.
Right.
And
exactly.
then I can scream down your throat.
Right.
About what you're doing is wrong, right?
Correct. That
Facts.
is facts. Straight facts. Yeah, I mean that's the only. What other ideas have been thrown around that you've heard of about how to resolve systematic oppression from police or police brutality? I haven't. I can't really think of many other than just totally canceling the police in general. I haven't really heard of any.
I've heard like creating like third-party investigators into.
Yeah, well, that's
police
like
acts of violence or
the
killings.
city that I talked about that created a civilian-ran task force to review
Yeah.
the cases, but
Yeah, like
that
that's
also
solid.
goes along with how are you going to review it if these officers can literally just turn their camera around, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's
that's
got to
the
be
problem.
something to change there. They can't just turn it around when they're about to do something stupid, right? So, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's got to be, I mean, we can all agree there's got to be changes, but I don't think it's clear yet exactly what the best way to do that is.
Here's some legislation for you. Get your shit together.
Yeah. I saw a clip of a black police officer talking to protesters, and he was asking them, why would you want to cancel the police? If you try to cancel the police, then it's just, if you want me to be gone, it's just going to be left with the white police officers, and how does that help you at all, right? Because there's minorities in police. How do they feel, right? We have a friend who's a minority going into the police force.
Yeah.
I think that has something to say about not. I mean, everyone hates when you say not all cops are bad. Everyone hates it, but they're not. They're not all bad. So canceling the police isn't a good justifiable solution, because clearly, even if there are good police, it's not going to change the fact that they're bad. You have to systematically make it not possible for racists or someone who's going to oppress people to join the police
It shouldn't
force.
be possible. That's
the
what we're trying to get
problem.
at.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't care how many good police there are. That's not the problem here. I care about the bad ones that are killing people.
And I don't think
You
it's a
can have-
problem with hiring people. I think that their criteria in a lot of places are very strict. I don't think you could get away with it if you say, "Hey, I'm a racist. I don't like black people, but I'd like to join the force." They're not going to let you on. The problem has to be that they have to be held accountable for their actions on duty.
Exactly. Yes, that's
So
yeah.
I think
that's the whole argument right there.
that's
Make it
why
so
I
it
feel
can't
like
happen.
that's why I feel like canceling the police is just not justifiable. Because in reality, even if everyone agreed with that, it's not going to happen. We're not just going to dismantle the police. It's not going to happen.
That's never gonna happen.
Whether we
yeah.
want it or we agree with it or not, that's not going to happen. So we have to have some sort of justifiable solution to stop the police from doing dumb things. That has to be the way. Because there's just no way you just totally dismantle and abolish the police. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. Even if
Tell
you
you right
think
now.
my take's wrong on that, ask yourself if you, in reality, you really think that can actually happen. There would have to be a
There's no
civil
world
war.
that
There would have to
exists.
be a civil war to abolish the police. And even then, even if you don't call it the police, even if you were to win a civil war, it's not, at the end, there's going to be a group of people who have to police. Even in a perfect world, there has to be. There's no societies that doesn't have police, right? That I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, maybe the
And maybe,
police
like,
are
some-
government ran and super, they're work for the government and they're super sketchy. But I mean, every modern society has police.
First world country. Yeah.
Everyone. Maybe they don't have guns. That's another argument. Maybe they're not trained the same way. That's another argument. But every society has police. You can't cancel them. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's better just get that in your mind right now.
It's just not. It's not going to happen, and it's not justifiable to happen. It's really not. I might be able to get behind defunding or any of that stuff, but they're not going to go away.
Well,
So that's how I feel about that.
yeah. I guess I don't know. I'm interested to see what sort of legislation pops up from this because I'm almost certain that some will.
Oh, I'm sure all the
And-
campaigns, local and state, they're all going to be ran off of
Yeah.
this stuff.
So I'm interested to see what happens, and then we're gonna give a hot take on it when it does. But
Hot take. Super
in the
hot.
meantime, we're just gonna shit on stupid people.
Yeah,
'cause
like
we're good at
fucking
that.
Laura Ingraham. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
And Donald Trump. Fuck you too, Donald.
Yeah.
Bunker
Donald.
baby. How do you feel about his photo op? Did you like the photos?
Yeah, I feel like that's like a second issue that we're dealing with is the Black Lives Matter, and then like the ability to protest in America
Right.
is kind of getting shit on right now,
Well, what I think
and
is
leaning
funny.
more authoritarian.
Yeah. I think it's hilarious that the only reason that happened is because he was trending on Twitter again, and you know how much he hates being called out, and people were calling him Bunker Baby because he was down in his bunker when all this shit happened, and everyone was calling him Bunker Baby and Bunker Bitch and all this stuff on Twitter, and he did not like that. So, Big Boy Donald just called in the fucking military and the police to gas out the protesters to go to the church, and
Yeah, if you
in the process of doing that, he also gassed out the priest that was there and the other people that were working in the church, the medical person, all of them. They were all forced out so he could take his stupid ass pictures with the Bible that looked like it was burning his hand when he was holding it. Did you see how stupid he looked holding it up?
yeah, the reason for doing it is absolutely stupid.
His reasoning is because he
but-
got offended from Twitter. That's it. That's
Yeah.
the only reason.
I mean, his reasoning is stupid, and it's always been stupid, and it doesn't surprise me anymore. The bigger thing that I'm worried about is the people that are watching these protests being actively thwarted, and then not seeing a parallel being drawn between us and Russia, and
Right.
or us and China. Like if you don't see our slow but steady drift towards authoritarianism,
Right.
then you need to do some more research.
Yeah.
Is what you need to do.
Yep.
I have a good book for you. For those that are interested, specifically in democracy pushes in Russia in Putin's Russia, and a bit of a history lesson as well. Gary Kasparov, the former world chess champion, who is now political commentator and human rights activist, wrote a book called Winter is Coming, sort of a play on words from Game of Thrones. But it is a book about the rise of Putin and what he has done to bring from what looked like a democratic, hopeful, shining light in post-Soviet Russia down back to just straight up authoritarianism. And it's a really good read, and it pushes for the West world to do more in terms of like thwarting Putin from taking these slow and steady steps.
Yep.
Toward like invasions of Georgia and invasions of Ukraine and all the stuff he's done domestically, which is not even countable. But it's a good read if you want to. It's really easy to draw parallels between.
Also,
Trump, so I encourage you to read it.
1984 probably be a pretty good book right now
Yeah.
by George Orwell. I mean, that's a classic, but parallels there too, I'm sure. But yeah.
All right. How long have we been up?
That's that. About an
time?
hour and 40 minutes. That might be a good
Hour
place to end it. I'm
50?
hungry as fuck, man. I'm gonna go
I
make
am
some nachos
starving,
or something.
yeah. That's a good fucking
I'm
idea.
hungry.
All right. Well, Paperweight Degrees, episode 6, coming at you with more hot takes.
Yep. Episode 7 next Thursday on Twitch and next Friday on YouTube. This episode will be out tomorrow on the 7th.
Yeah, we're gonna start uploading smaller clips of like specific topics to our YouTube.
Yep.
You can also catch like minute-long trailers on our Twitter or Instagram.
Yep.
If you go and follow out there, mainly comedic. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Check us out. Or don't.
Or
We'll be here either way.
All right. Episode
Alright.
6. We'll catch you
Episode
next
6.
week.
See you next week.